Hello again, my friends. I'm taking a very brief break through my Enderal playthrough to showcase some of the newest hot mods for Skyrim VR. There's some truly special things in this batch that raise the gameplay to another level. Let's start off with the visual effect mod that I think really adds to the environmental immersion, and that's rain ash and snow shaders. This mod technically isn't that new, but up until recently, the VR version had a really nasty bug that would crash the game. Thankfully, the developer has fixed those crashes, so I'm now happy to recommend it for all of you. This adds visual environmental effects during certain weather conditions. When it's snowing, you'll see actual snow buildup on NPCs and yourself, as well as snow particles falling off them. During rainy weather, you and NPCs will be covered with a watery shader, and droplet particles will also fall. The rain effect is more subtle than the snow effect, so it might not be so obvious in the footage, but you definitely see it in VR. This is a simple premise, but I think it adds so much to the immersion, especially when I feel like I'm covered in snow. Be sure to turn off the camera effects in the mod configuration menu, because those don't behave properly in VR. At least they didn't for me. With the old VR bug out of the way, I wholeheartedly recommend installing this. Moving on to a new way to travel in the world, we have Navigate VR, which provides a functional compass and equipable maps that can be holstered in your weapon slots. This requires VR IK, but of course you should be using that anyway. By default, you'll have a very basic overview map, but from merchants and Khajiit caravans, you can buy more detailed maps. This is pretty rad to use, and if you've been craving a more immersive way to navigate in Skyrim, then this is definitely for you. With the Navigate VR compass replacing the default one, you can use VR IK settings to hide the default compass. But then how do you see if your shouts have recharged and are ready for use? For that, there's now custom shout cooldown notifications. This mod allows you to choose any combination of sound, player body effects, overlay colors, or haptics to let you know when your shout is ready. My current favorite combination uses all of those together. But of course, you can choose whichever notifications work for you. In previous mod roundup videos, I've shown ways to reduce visual clutter and HUD elements from the game. And with this, we now have one less element in the game needing an overlay HUD. It feels like a more natural and immersive way to see your shouts already again. I love it.
Shouting is making people nervous.
And speaking of overlays, Dear Diary VR takes the original, very popular flat screen mod and makes it all possible for us VR players. Enjoy this unique UI and menu overhaul with a distinct paper style. It also restores the categorized favorites menu. It's a nice change from the original menus, a cool fresh look. In the past, I featured Be Seated, which makes it possible to truly sit on the floor or a real chair whenever you want to sit in the game. And even order drink service. But there's been an impressive new update to the mod which is worth mentioning: food service. In taverns across Skyrim, you can order a delicious meal, enjoy eating it naturally, and taking in the atmosphere. After taking a seat, you call for service by pressing your left trigger. Inquiring about the menu shows you all the food available.
Drink for the thirsty, food for the hungry.
After making your selection, your food will be brought to you by the chef.
Thank you. Here, this is for you.
To use the fork, you tilt it from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock to pick up the food. There's even an option to hire staff to receive food service inside your own home. I really love mods like these that add to the experience of actually living inside these virtual worlds. Be Seated has come a long way and will forever be staying in my load order. Instant Equip VR fixes a minor issue but makes a big difference. By default, the VR IK weapon holsters have a slight delay when you equip them. This removes the delay and makes the equipping instant. It's a must-have.
Hey, watch it!
VR Arsenal is a collection of custom weapons designed to be used with Weapon Throw VR. This provides an absolute ton of new and creative throwing weapons. Ninja stars, grenades, boomerangs, and much more. It even includes the deadliest weapon of all, the dreaded snowball. Throwing weapons in Skyrim has never been so fun.
And ass, man, you said.
Have you ever noticed that by default, the fire or frost spell seemed two-dimensional and flat? 3D casting effects replaces those with a much more interesting looking 3D version. A nice small visual touch. For the final 3 mods in this showcase, I've previously published announcement videos for each one, so some of you will recognize these already. But if you haven't seen these, then you need to stick around because they are absolutely not to be missed. HIGGS hand interaction and gravity gloves for Skyrim VR. This mod grants 3 new abilities. Gravity glove retrieval, just like in Half-Life Alyx. Your hands now have collisions with almost all objects in the game. And also an easy over-the-shoulder backpack storage system, similar to Alyx. For the gravity glove ability, point your palm at whatever you want to retrieve, then using either trigger or grip, you can send items to your hands. To grab them, it's also trigger or grip, whatever works for you. Objects are highlighted for retrieval. If they're highlighted red, then you know that you'll be stealing. The highlighting is also there for items that you can simply grab within arm's reach.
Fruit! Fresh off the boat! The freshest in Skyrim!
The hand collisions themselves add a lot of immersion into the game. And I have to admit that when I first started playing with this, I couldn't help but be a jerk whenever I had the chance.
Be careful! What are you doing that for?
The gravity gloves also grant you a new way to loot dead bodies of their armor. You can lift the armor right off them and then store it behind you in your inventory. Do you ever find yourself needing to hide a body? Well, you can do that now too, which was possible in flat screen and was missing in VR until now. These 3 new features are a welcome addition into the game, and I'm sure that even more possibilities will be coming in the future. Spell Wheel will forever change how you equip spells, organize weapons, and eat potions. It's heavily inspired by the spell wheel from Blade and Sorcery, and this intuitive menu makes Skyrim feel even closer to a native VR game. This menu is fully customizable, so you can decide what kinds of items you want to most frequently use. Do you want a custom arrow equip menu? A faster way to consume food and potions? Or maybe just equipping your favorite spells? Once you get used to Spell Wheel, you'll never want to play without it. Do you feel like you've seen everything that Skyrim has to offer, and you're craving a new adventure? Well, thankfully Enderal is now playable in VR thanks to a special VR patch. It's an entirely new game built on top of the Skyrim engine. I'm still pretty early on in my playthrough of Enderal, but I'm thoroughly enjoying the novelty of this new RPG, and I feel like I'm playing Skyrim again for the first time because I've had to relearn all of the new game mechanics. I'll link to the installation guide down below. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. See ya!